Mr. Enrico Palomo, Head of Australian Space Agency, all my distinguished panelists who will join here soon, and all the delegates present here. This particular session, of course, there was a special address by our chairman, Dr. Somnath, and he would have been, loved to be here, as we have very strong ties as far as space is concerned with Australia. But unfortunately, because of some assignment, he had to rush to Delhi. So I am just representing him in this particular forum. So I'm very honored to be part of this key event, which is first of its kind, I think, after the announcement of the space reforms by Government of India. From the inception of the Indian space program, India has really enjoyed the goodwill of both the spacefaring as well as the space aspiring countries or the nations. We have almost 62 signed agreements with the countries as well as with the 5 multilateral bodies. And you have been hearing for the past 3 days about India's space journey and how India has really established the end-to-end capability in the space with a vibrant application and people-centric space program, and also the indigenous capabilities in the space transportation as well as the space infrastructure. India, of course, has a very special connect, as I told, with Australia. Both agencies are exploring opportunities to work in various domains: Earth observation, the navigation, also the space situational awareness. And first of all, I would like to thank Australia for rendering support for tracking our prestigious missions to Moon and Mars. And of course, we are now in talks for extending their support for establishing ground station in Cocos Island for India's another passionate program on the human space flight. As far as Australia, is concerned, Australia's civil space priorities and the 2018-28 civil space strategy are very, very impressive. And Australia is having a very vibrant, private space ecosystem. And I think the Indian startups, the industries, including, of course, ISRO, has many aspects to learn from Australia in this particular domain. As we have been hearing, and you have also witnessed how the space activity is expanding globally with more and more players coming on board. And space is steadily also gaining its place basically or deserving place in the global economy, as well as it is constantly growing. And as you heard that, once the Government of India has announced the space reforms, particularly with certain objectives. One is basically to provide the freedom and opportunity for the private sectors in innovation in the space sector. The role of government, of course, as an enabler to support the private industry and startups to grow in the best possible way, making the startup industries future ready, not only for through handholding, but also making them globally competitive slowly and steadily. And of course, space as a resource for the progress of common man. And not only, you have seen how the InSpace has been established as a regulatory mechanism to handhold, promote, and also regulate the space activities in India. We have a voluntary association, Dr. Bhatt is sitting here, ISPA, which is also in place really to enhance the capabilities of Indian space industries with appropriate global linkages. Generally we have not seen this kind of voluntary association coming up so fast as soon as the space reforms are announced. So I thank you, Dr. Bhatt, and the SPY Association to really be, with ISRO for promoting the space activities and taking up much of our activities as well. The Australia-India Virtual Leader Summit, which was held in March 2022, of course, has recognized our space cooperation, has made an announcement to promote interaction among our space nations. The Indian stream of International Space Investment Initiative, ISI, is sure to help the Australian entities to work with Indian entities in the field of space. And yesterday we have witnessed the signing of 6 MOUs with the Indian stakeholders, and probably I think we are going to witness a few more today. Of course, Indian industries need to carry out their own R&D and participate in announcement of opportunities in the new domain of technology. So one side we have the support from Australia. At the same time, the industries also have to boost their investment, particularly in the R&D sector. Now to summarize, of course there exists ample opportunity for both the countries to come together in space, and not only at agency level, but also at industry and academia level as well. And then I will say that ISRO complements efforts of Australia towards building space ecosystem for accelerating the Australia and India space cooperation. Thank you very much.